Hello guys, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Take a look at this house, folks, and tell me, can anybody determine the age of this color coat? Now you can look at this right here, it looks pretty beat up, and you might say, oh, it's 100 years old. But they didn't start doing color coats till 1926. La Habra started them, then Western and Omega, and the rest followed them. But I got here yesterday, and the fellow was saying, well, gee, look at these rails here. They look pretty beat up. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, you have at least, this is a 35-year color coat. And he says, well, where do you come with that conclusion? I said, well, I can see the glass. You'll say, I don't know if Jay can zoom in on that. There's glass showing. See all that sparkly, glittery stuff? That's glass. It's everywhere. How do you end up with glass on a color finish? Well, it takes about 25 seasons or 25 years or 30 or 40. The pigment gets washed out, and sometimes you can see the glass because it's in the sand. You see the dark, the dirt up there. What does that cause from, guys? Is that stucco? Does stucco turn dirty? No. No stucco or concrete actually turns dirty. What happens is, say like the truck I'm driving, that's a diesel truck. And the diesel's designed, it goes in the air, then it comes down. When you mow the lawn, you're mowing this, the dust goes up. When you cut trees down, all the dust, it goes up and it settles. This house here, it's settled on the parapet. So the fact that it's settled on the parapets right here, when it rains, it comes down and it gives it a dirty appearance. But that's all that is dirt. I'm going to get on that later of how to clean that off. But here's what we're here today to do, guys. Okay, you see these rails. Now, these are just the porch rails. They're beat up. Why? Because I talked to the fellow here. I said, how old is the color code? He says, well, 1975. So we take 25 years. We add another 16, 40, 41 years. It's not bad. The color coats are designed to last a lifetime. They never come off. But if you're walking on them, they will. So right here where it's beat up, and I see this often on houses where a color coat is done. And before these rails were here, picture it, they didn't have rails. Kids were sliding on these. They were walking on them, sliding on them, and it loosens it. So that's all it is. It's just loose, guys. But back in 75, when he did do this color coat, they sandblasting. Sandblasting has been not used here in California anymore. I'm not sure the whole state, but we can't use it. I used to refer folks all the time, sandblast it, no more. Those are done. So they sandblasted this house. And what they did here is they left some dirt or dust. Nothing adheres to dust, not color coats, not anything. And I'm sure they put the bonding agent on the house. Never put a bonding agent in a mix with 800 more pounds of stucco like this color. Otherwise, you dilute it to uselessness, guys. So it's got to be on the house. Anyway, you see, this is kind of beat up. What we're going to do is I brought a pressure washer here. It's a pretty powerful pressure washer. We're not going to get into showing how to use a pressure washer, guys, because we've done that already. What we're going to do is we're going to pressure wash all the dirt, dust, moss, and crap off here so we don't have to scrape. It's a lot easier to use that. We're going to clean up these bricks because as I was here, I looked at them. I thought, well, gee whiz, we could fix this grout right here. It's just mortar grout. They make caulkings. They make all kinds of materials to fix this, but I'm just going to use a mortar mix, a rapid set mortar mix, meaning we put it in, boom, it sets hard and fast. So we're going to go ahead and pressure wash all this. I don't even know what's behind this bush, but I'm about to find out because I'm going to start trimming it out. Anyway, when we get to that stage of where we are ready, meaning we cleaned up these columns, we applied a bonding agent. We'll show you how to spread them, and I'll explain to folks how to get rid of this dirt. Well, I'll get it now before I forget. Okay, that is just dirt, dust, grime, moss, and the way to get rid of it, the easiest way is, like a lot of folks say, well, gee, I'm going to put vinegar. They say, oh, gee, I'm going to put vinegar. I'll say, no, guys, vinegar is an acid, and it's mainly for efflorescence. You can put vinegar, or if you put vinegar on lime, you'll see it fizz. But in this case, this is dirt. It's got nothing to do with efflorescence. My advice would be, and I've told folks this over the years, wait for the rain. I mean, right now we've had months of rain. We're in winter. Wait for it to rain and saturate those right there. Why? Well, it's the same effect as you take two pans. You're cooking oatmeal. All right, you let the oatmeal set in both pans. Now, if you do what I used to do when I was a kid and try to clean it off, you'll spin your wheels for hours. But if you put water in the one pan, let it soak for 6 hours, it comes off easy. Same principle applies. If it rains for, say, 24 hours, all that dirt and stucco will become so loose, you could stand down here, take a water hose, and with a jet stream, with a nozzle, you put your nozzle on this guy here. Now, you put your nozzle on it, and that's accumulated, say, 24 hours worth of rain. And now you hit it, and it'll loosen it, and it'll take the majority of that right off. So no need for vinegar, because that's for a different purpose. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut this bush, and we're going to get started and pressure wash all this, and we'll show you how to put it back together. Plus, I'll show you how to repair that brick. That's pretty simple. Okay, guys, we have pressure washed everything. I use a wand here with a turbo tip. This guy here, it's about 50 bucks. Really got a lot more power, and I'm using a pressure washer, gas powered. So I got 3,000 psi plus this. Notice all the grout, all of the black and mold and moss is gone because, and also while we're on the same subject, notice everything is off of these guys. Now we have a bonding agent applied directly to this. Why are we so thorough? Heck, we even clean the ground. Because nothing adheres to dust, dirt, mold, any of that. So if I were going to grout these, regrout the brick, it won't adhere. If I'm going to re-stucco here, it won't adhere unless it is clean. And that color you see now, that's just a bonding agent that's gone on top of this. We've already done that one over there. And because this color coat was done about 50 years ago, what I've done is I went to my material yard and I got what is considered the same grit. It's 2030. But what I did is I got a base 100. What is base 100? Base 100 simply means that it's white. If you get base 200, it's gray. So because this was originally crystal white and it's faded all kinds of different ways, I figured this one will match just about as close as any color. So all we're going to do now is we're going to spread this out. Okay, we're going to spread it out and then retexture it. It's actually quite simple. What really takes a lot of practice, guys, is to know your cements. And another thing that takes a lot of practice is how to mix them. Jay mixes, so because he mixes so well, I can look good applying it. If I mixed it, or somebody else mixed it, and you homeowners call me and say, gee, I've tried it, it won't adhere. Well, you just mixed it improperly. It takes a long time to learn how to mix it just right too, guys. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to take this mud right here and just skim the top. Nothing to it. And should I, or can I use a square trowel? Yeah, it might be better. But old Kirk can make this work. Take it here, here. And all I'm going to do, guys, is put the base on. Then I'm going to allow it to set for about 10 minutes. Why am I going to let this set? Well, you look at this texture here. They floated the first coat. They floated this. That just means they took a green sponge float and floated it. They brought the aggregate out. That's called floating. And then what they did was they applied the texture when it was dry. So I want to apply my texture while it's dry too. So just for the sake of blam, let's just put this on here and make a patty cake. Come on there. We make a little patty cake. A little tip, guys, is any molds get they get painted. We don't have to put a texture on a mold. So you just slop it on the top, work it, then just work your way down. Let it fall over. It doesn't matter. let it fall on the sides because this just gets brushed. So you let it fall down. Any excess, we can brush right off, guys. Real simple. Nothing to it if you know how to do it. Remember the rules. What are the rules? Okay, guys. Rules are, in plastering, it's mainly, you guys watch what I do. Say, oh, that guy's, he knows how to use his tools. Using the tools are about 30% of the real trade. The other, say 70%, comes with experience. You got to know your cement. So you can't say, well, he got a lot of time and he knows how to plaster. You got to know your cements too. Equally important. So those are the rules. Okay, I get some of this excess off. Now I'm going to go the side here, come down, side here. I'll show you how fast it is, or how easy it is to, let me get in here, and brush this. And as I brush it, then I'm going to let it set. I'm going to let it set because I got to let it dry. And right now it's about, I would say 95 degrees. So it's pretty warm. So we get that. Get here. One more will do it. Put it on. And just for the sake of doing this top piece and showing you folks what I'm talking about as far as to paint it on, here's what we do. All right, we set this stuff aside. And we grab a little cheap brush. This little cheap guy here. Had this on my truck, it's so old. Okay, now you hit it lightly. Just go in circular motions. If you want more detail, use the edge. If you want less detail, just use here and it'll build it up fatter. If it's too fat, guys, it tends to pop right off later on over the years. So I like to go a little bit tighter myself. A little bit tighter. And I'm just going in a complete circle because these little radiuses are circles. So we'll start here, boom. And again, you want to detail it, just like I see some of it's too thick. I'll just go sideways like this, but here's where I get all of it. I use the whole brush. And then here, got some excess, pick it off. You can brush stucco. You can do this with caulking also, guys. A little excess, go back in there. A little excess, no worries. I got carried away at first and put too much on at once. And these corners, here's what you do. I'm brushing this. I could brush it or float it. I don't have a float with me, so I'm going to use a brush. And if you use a brush, you make it stronger. You get the water actually cures it. It makes it a lot tougher. Because if it dries too fast, it's brittle. You want the water so it doesn't, the moisture doesn't suck out too fast. Over here in the back, we feather it in. You feather it in with a brush. Just get that and feather it into the existing, because I told them, you don't have to paint this. It's going to match close enough. I mean, you've seen what they had, so it's going to match close enough. If you do paint it, you destroy your maintenance-free finish. Not a good thing. So I'm just brushing it. I'm bringing out the sand or aggregate, guys. Just bringing it out. A little bit on the brick. Oh, well, we're going to have to clean that off. We come here at the bottom or the sides. We do the same thing. Use the brush. Get here. If you miss any, just go right back over it. Notice I go over the corners often because that makes them stronger. And where it comes to meets the existing, take a little brush. And what happens if you take a big brush and you go all over this finish? Well, there'll be a transition mark there. You'll see it. We don't want to see it, so we avoid it. We just work away from it. There it is. What I'm going to do, guys, is because I don't want this to be too long, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And when I come right back to texture, let's see here, then we'll start again. The same thing, guys. We just brush this on, make it pretty. And do I need to texture this? That's an owner preference thing. You folks say, gee, I want this textured or not. That's up to you guys. I'll texture the side, but I'll leave the top alone. So again, we just use a brush and give it that sandy grit or a float, green sponge float. Bring the aggregate of the sand out. Then now it's ready for texture, but it's got to set for at least 15, 20 minutes in this heat. All right, guys, we are completely done. We went ahead and grouted the brick. Why? Because we're already here, and anybody can grout brick. Guys, you can use this stuff here. It's a mortar mix. It's just for grout. You can actually use this for stucco too. And there's about 20 different types of caulking that's made for brick. You see the bricks. You could even you can go to the tile department at Lowe's or Home Depot and buy caulking, grout, and fill it. Just look at the color and just get the caulking that's made, or the caulking that's made for tile works here too because it's got the sand in it. Anyway, you see here now, guys, we're pretty much on the money. What I did was I took a 50-year-old color coat and we just improvised a little bit. The only thing left I didn't show is the texture. Now, nothing to this. It's just a skip trowel texture, guys. Skip it. You're going to see me do these textures quiet. If you watch what we do these all day long. When I was working union, we would do this for 3 to 4 months. Then they'd say, Kirk, hey, we've got another project for you. I'd say, I'm not going to be texturing anymore 24/7. No, we need a Darby man. And I go, oh, crap, because Darby and his hard work. Anyway, you see this, guys? You just put a texture on it. It's dry as a bone now. And, over there I textured these little squares. So I'm texturing it again. And there you have it. Anyway, guys, my name is Kirk. Jason on the camera. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one. Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.